Hello and welcome to my homestead. Today is November 7th. It's probably going to be one of the last updates for this year for my garden, for my homestead. But I want to show you this raised bed. My sister planted some brassicas in here and I almost missed it. I saw that they kept growing for a long time. They were not growing at all. They were just sitting there, but today I lifted the netting from the butterflies and I was pleasantly surprised. I do have some broccoli. Gorgeous. Quite a few of them too. And you can see the green peas are also blooming. I'm hoping that they will form before the frost starts. We're expecting it in about a week from now. We had some of the frosty nights, but not for long. It's only about down to 33 degrees. But nothing hard. This time the hard frost will come, freeze. So I'm pleasantly surprised that I have some nice broccoli. And hopefully we'll have some green peas. Now next to them I have the remaining tomatoes. I have been picking them already before I decided to make this video. But I want to show you, you can see some of these are small salad tomatoes. Beautiful variations, but look at some of these large ones. They're gorgeous. So the tomato vines themselves are frozen. Like I said, we did have a few nights of freeze, but the ones that were underneath were protected by the top greenery that was folded. I did have the plastic, but it wasn't closed, and that unfortunately was not sufficient to protect them. But in the meantime, I'll pick some of these tomatoes. They're ripening and they're beautiful. Like I said, different variations, different varieties. I do have another patch of tomatoes growing. I'll show you a little bit later. And in the meantime, let's move here. Let's walk around. This is my sweet potato or yams patch. Another raised bed. You can see everything has been seared because it was so dry. We have not had rain in months. But I'm keeping these hydrated. Keep watering them. Still lots of greenery, and I even have a few very late peppers forming. So I'm going to try and keep them warm as much as I can. I have this layer to protect them, and I have another one that I put on for the night to keep them extra warm. So let's go around and take a look at some of the other preparations for winter. So here I have my potted plants right now that are outside. This week is very warm. We're up in the 70s. But the biggest biggest excitement I have right now for this tree, this is loquat. My loquat is blooming. And it has multiple blossom. I thought there was going to be more, but they actually turned out to be more growth than flowers, but that's okay. At least I have 3 of them. So 3 clusters of blossoms. Hopefully they will form fruit. I am excited. I've been patiently waiting for this tree to start blooming for 3 years. So I'll take one step at a time, even if it's just 3 clusters. I have variegated lemon here. As you can see, quite a few lemons are already missing. Not because they were ripe, but because raccoons tried to, or squirrels tried to get to them, and they broke some of the branches. So I had no choice but to take them off. But look at this. It's not finished producing yet, and it already went into second bloom. So the trees are beginning to get ready for the winter, which is when they bloom. You can see where I took down the passion fruit. It was up on the trellis, and I had to cut down the trellis support. The cover is what's protecting it at night from the frost. And when we get into the colder winter nights, colder winter temperatures below 20, I will set up another layer of protection, both from straw and from plastic. Some more lemons here. Beautiful, almost ready again. You can see a lot of them have been harvested. This is a new addition to my tree collection. This is from my sister. I just brought it down from her place. She and her husband had it at their house, and I brought it here because it needs a lot more light that they can give it. It's another loquat, and it was very unhappy there. So it's beginning to revive a little bit. It's a little bit more green. You can see it was suffering a lot of yellow. In the meantime, speaking of suffering, the banana plants are pretty much done. They've been all but killed by the frosty nights. Bananas do not tolerate anything up below 40 degrees. These are the fruit-bearing bananas, not the decorative. So they really do not like the cold temperatures. But I did start putting the insulation, so they have some chicken manure, chicken bedding, and some straw. And once it gets below 35 on average, I will cut down the stalks, cover them up completely, and button them up for winter. All right. You can see this is a mess that needs to be pulled out. And it looks like I have a visitor. Becca, you're not supposed to be here. She loves to escape. And she's very vocal. You're not a good girl. Don't give Mama your voice. Alright, you can see I'm trying to clean this up. I already started pulling down some of the beans. They're pretty much done producing. Tomatoes are done, but these tomatoes are still producing. You can see I've been covering them again and holding these pots down. There is a lot of tomatoes here, still green. They're hiding under the greenery. Beautiful. Gorgeous tomatoes, and they're everywhere. So all of this is covered in tomatoes. I keep trying to keep them warm enough through the night so they can have a little bit more time to get their sugars and get their flavor before I pull them off the vines. Alright, let's move on to my greenhouse. The biggest preparation for winter has been here in the greenhouse. As you can see, I've put down some wire mesh to protect from the rats. Hopefully it will keep them down. And I moved some of the more sensitive plants in here. This is another new addition. It's a loquat. Sorry, not loquat, longan. Again, from my sister. She bought it for herself, but it was not happy in their place. But in the meantime, I have a lot of pineapple here. Pineapple plants. None of them are blooming yet, but that's okay. I have some peppers overwintering and bananas. As you can see, bananas are much happier here where they are protected from the cold. Here's some more peppers. These are the jalapenos. So there's one eggplant still blooming. So it's still going to be producing. And of course my tropical trees. Nice healthy leaves from everything. So they're happy here. It's nice and toasty. I did insulate. Here, you can see up on top. So everything is buttoned down. Another pepper here. A lot more jalapenos. The sweet peppers are back there. So they're getting some sunlight that way. But mostly it's the tropicals. Hopefully they will survive the winter. So on this note, I'm gonna say goodbye and thank you for joining me. Until next time.